So I'm going to quickly go over the projects for Stamp Camp and the Paper Pumpkin alternatives. So everything for my Stamp Camp and alternative people in my group will get all the pre-cut supplies. I'm using some older paper pumpkins for these projects. So if you have them and you're not in my Stamp Camp class, you can go to your old supplies and maybe follow along. For the Stamp Camp portion, I have 3 cards, and they're all coming from this 2018 July Paper Pumpkin Kit. You may have it. It's called Picnic Paradise. First one I'm going to show you 2 that are fairly easy. You're taking the punch outs that come in the card in with the kit. This is the card. What it's doing is it's taking the 3 tags and I am turning them into kind of like people. So with this one, what I'm doing is I'm taking one of each color, and on the bottom where there is a circle for to hang the tag or the string, I took a circle or a half circle, whatever you want to call it, corner rounder punch, and I punched where the hole was to make it look like a smile. Then I put googly eyes on each one. So it's being stacked in this order. The main card base is white. Then it's being stacked on red is back, white, and then I'm using the tissue that comes inside. The tissue comes in the colors of red, green, and blue. So you could use any one you wanted. I'm choosing blue for mine. You're going to stack your red, white, and tissue paper together. Then you can, if you want, put the tags on towards the top. Then you will take twine or some type of yarn or whatever you want to use, tie it around and make a knot. Then you take a label and you use the stamps that says there were labels in the kit, but if you want to, this is something you can easily make separate even if you don't have the kit. Thinking of You was the one that was used. The next one is actually quite funny. So in the kit, you're getting a sheet of these leaves. These leaves are being used with the fruit that comes in the kit. I'm using them in this way. I'm turning my leaves into little birds. So as you see, what I did is I took white cardstock for the base. Then I found some designer series paper that shaded my color, and it was like this. I cut the paper down to fit the exact size of the front of the card, so it looks like it was actually part of the card base. You take 2 birds or 2 petals going one way, another petal going the other, and then you find some type of sentiment to put on top. I actually had these. This one is from a die cut that had sentiments that matched the die cuts. So you take a ruler and a thin marker of some sort to create the legs and the feet, and then you make a dot on the beak and a dot for the eyes. You see the bottom is brown, so I took, I believe it was crumb cake, and I took a brush and I swirled the brush around to make it look like sand on the bottom. That one was easy enough. This third one is only complicated because of the assembly of it. As you see, there's a basket with fruit tucked behind it and fruit underneath, and I've used the tissue paper to create it looking like a blanket. So the basket is actually from the kit. It came with baskets that you actually assemble, but what I did is I opened up the baskets and I cut off the four sides to create a basket that could be flat to a card base. That way you're making 4 cards with each basket versus having baskets. That's if that's what you choose. So the smaller basket was cut down so it's not so tall. And then this part over here, there were trim pieces that I used to cover the top to make it look more like the brim of the basket. I tucked behind it the fruit that was strawberries and blueberries, and then I put down below, I tucked a blueberry and strawberry down below as well. And what I did was I assembled the white. It's on I believe that's garden green cardstock. So then I layered it with white and green, and then I put the white and green together. I assembled all of these pieces first, then I put my twine around and tied it, and over here I took a tag, I put "For You" on it and put it on the bottom. The tag is in dimensionals, the rest is not, the rest is flat to the surface. That one's only complicated because of having to get everything aligned and taped down. If you're not part of my stamp camp and you are interested in knowing how those cards are made, I do make a small instruction sheet for these, and on the bottom, for those that are not new to stamping, will understand the instructions quite well. And I put the instructions for all 3 cards. You can message me if you're interested in those. So part of this Picnic Paradise is being used in my next one, which is my alternatives to the 2022 June Pick of the Crop Paper Pumpkin Kit. So this one, I've actually made a lot of alternatives that are actually very easy to make. I will start with the beginning with the 2 that I started with. I kept the cards as they were in the kit. This one here will use, it'll end up like this. It's still using the card, but I will show you what I did to create this. What you are doing is you are taking your card, and down here where the base of the card is and the wheels are, in between, like where the green and the white, well, it's more of a blue, and the white are, I put it in my paper cutter and cut them across and separated the wheels. You do want it up far enough so that it doesn't rip into your wheels when you cut. Okay, then this part here, the striped awning, you are going to take a small scissors and cut out around the scalloped edge. You're going to cut that away from the card. What I then did is I took a strip of cardstock and I lined up the wheels. So the bottom of the wheels go a little below the grass line. Then you're going to put this strip on top of the wheels, and it's going to have a sentiment. I use the Pick of the Crop for the sentiment. when you do that, you're going to want to put adhesive on the bottom part of the tag or the label because you want to be able to tuck in this middle part of the cart. So after you've got that aligned, then you tuck in the middle part of the cart. And now when we get to the awning is on its own. You can tell. There is a little bit of a gap there. So what I'm doing is I'm putting dimensionals underneath the scallop part, scallop part of the cart and putting it up. This part here is flat, so I put adhesive and glue dots on the top here, so that way it'll stay secured, and then you have dimensionals underneath the scallop part, and it brings a little bit of a shadow. It's really quite cute when it's done. So in the center of the wheels, I found some adhesive backed brads and put them in the middle. So that's an idea. You can use brads or sequins and put them in the middle of your wheels. So this card is kept together. The next card as well will be kept together. So your card, when it's out, is like this. What we are going to do, as you see here, it's cut. You're going to put it on your paper cutter like so. You're going to put the blade right at the seam of the green to the pattern. You're going to line up where the basket is right here, where the berry basket is, and you're going to punch your blade down into the middle and go this way and cut a straight line. So what it's going to do is you're going to end up this top part is going to get secured, and the bottom part is what we're going to work with next. As you see, finished product here has an added piece. What you're doing is you're taking this, which is exactly what's on here, but you're giving it some dimension. So you're going to put this square dab on top of the berry basket where the strawberries and blueberries are. You're going to exactly line them up as that, and you're going to have a small line of glue dots to keep it onto this bottom piece, because as you see, the bottom piece comes out, the top piece is going to stay on top. So you don't want to have too much adhesive here, otherwise it's going to stick to this part here. I did stamp in there one of the fruits, but I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather have it blank and give me more space to write. But on the front, you're taking one of the tags, putting your sentiment, you are the sweetest. So you're taking a little bit of twine, wrapping it through the hole and knotting it, and then you put it on the edge of your basket to make it look like a tag on the basket. That is 2 of the cards. The third card, which I'm going to show you, gets cut into pieces, and it can be a little tricky to understand when I explain it, partly because I've already cut everything up, and so you're going to have to kind of imagine with me. So what it is the card comes well, it's hard to tell, but the card comes like this, and you have the I'm going to call it the little blanket in the middle, and you got the stripes around the side. What we're doing is we're cutting the stripes off, and we're creating 3 cards. The blanket in the middle creates 1 card, 2, the stripes up and down create another card, stripes this way create another card as well. So when you have your full piece, you're going to put it in your paper cutter. You're going to separate the back side from the side that has the stripes and the blanket. So you're going to take it, you're going to have it in like this first, and you're going to cut this side and this side together, and then you're going to cut the top and the bottom together. The ones that have the longest pieces, those are the ones you're going to cut first. So here's what you end up with. You end up with your striped square. Here are the two small pieces. And I got carried away and I already started making the cards, and went ahead and started making the one with the long striped pieces. They'll be separated, but so you'll end up with 3 bits that you're going to make cards with. The one with the blanket is going to be quite simple. You're taking your card. I have it in navy blue, but I'm going to tell you my next card is going to be made with the Calypso Coral instead. I do like this one instead. So I will just demonstrate this one because it's made. You're going to take, you will have a small cut piece like this, which is, just can be from a punched out label as well. This is going to represent like a platter or something, because in your picture you have, my platter is brown just so you can see it, but that's where you're going to put your bread. And you're going to stack behind your bread your plant stake with the word thinking of you, and behind the plant stake is a vellum plant stake that you put behind it. Then behind that you're going to have a sprig of flowers. You're going to stack everything together. I actually have everything flat to the surface, nothing is with dimensionals. You're going to tie around some twine, knot it or bow it, whichever way. I put mine flat to the surface. I did not put dimensionals, just because I kind of like that look. On the corner, if you wanted, before you put your other stuff in the center, you can take out of the stamp set is going to be those sprig of flowers. You can stamp some sprigs into the edge if you want, or you can stamp all around. It's what you like. So when I get to this one, I'm probably going to use Versamark for my sprig of flowers, so it is light enough but still gives a really nice image. So that's that card. It has a lot of pieces, but once it's put together, it's really cute. So next you will have your striped images. So for one, I did use Night of Navy just because it goes better with these stripes. I'm having this one fold open this way, the long way. And I have, for the background, what I'm doing is the back of the card is a light blue color. I don't know if you can quite see it. So I cut that down, and I have the dimensions in my instructions. So it was cut down, and then from there I stacked it with white cardstock, and the white cardstock I have down to 4 3/8 by 3 1/8, and the light blue is actually 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So I have everything spaced 1/8 of an inch apart. I actually like the look. You could do 1/4 inch apart if you wanted. I felt on this one it was nicer to have it closer together. With those dimensions, these two pieces, you will not need to cut to fit into the white card cutout. In the center, the Thinking of You stamp actually comes with thinking on top and of you on the bottom. So you're going to take that and you're going to tape over the first part. You're going to tape over of you. You're going to put your stamp into the ink for the thinking. You're going to take the tape off so you don't have the smudge from the tape, and then you can stamp thinking. Clean it off really well, kind of rub it on some paper too to make sure all of the ink is off of the word thinking. Then you're going to tape over the thinking, and you're going to then stamp of you into your ink, and then finish your line on here of you. It's a little tricky, but some of you that have done it before, it's not a hard process. I did use a flowered gem on it as well, just to kind of give it something else. So it's just stacking, and the hardest part is your stamping of thinking of you. The small pieces, which look really small here, right? But once you put it on this, it looks really nice. I did use Night of Navy again, and I also have it opening up this way. So I have a Night of Navy card base in the middle, and that is 4.5, no, it's 4.5 by 3 1/4. Then I took white is 4 1/4 by 3. Then you can put these pieces, I just put them real easy with one little glue dot, just in case I needed to move it, because when you put hello in the middle, in some areas, because of the spacing between the stripes, you may need to move your stripe a little bit so the hello can be in there, and then your stripe actually would go over it just a smidge. Once you've stamped in your hello, then you want to make sure you secure your 2 stripe parts. Then on the bottom, you're going to put the punch out with the strawberry and the blueberry on the bottom. I took, which you can't really see, is one of the flowered gemstones, and put it in the middle of my strawberry, but you definitely can do much more. Once you've got everything stacked onto the Night of Navy small piece, what I did is I don't know if you can tell, I did put it on my card, and that might be better. I used dimensionals underneath it. It gave it a little bit more of a nice look. Okay, now we're going to the ones that I consider the extras, which are pieces using the envelope and pieces that are using the extras from the punch outs. You actually get quite a bit, as you can see right here. A lot of these are just extras, and a lot of these are ones that we didn't use on all the cards the first way, so we have a lot of extras. You have a lot of bread and everything else. Okay, so that being said, this one here, I call it my hello stripe, is using the envelope. The envelope it has green for the back and the stripe pattern for the inside. I took and cut off this part, which is actually this. And that, of course, is after trimming off the edges off of the envelope so you can open it up. Now, because I have this, I'm able to take my big circle punch, which is 2 1/4 inch, and I punched out my circle. Then, with the striped part, I then cut my base for my envelope. For my card. Okay, I used a color that I think it's mint macaroon. It's a color that's not going to be used with this new catalog, but I had some paper and I felt it matched, so I did use it. So my card base is the mint macaroon. Then I put white underneath the stripes. So I have in my directions the dimensions, but you're basically stacking them. You will need to cut the striped piece to 5x4, and then your white piece is already in your supplies. And I actually did have the circles punched because I had so many from my envelopes. So I added the circles, so if you don't want to punch that out of yours, you don't have to. And that the hello goes in there. I have some ribbon that I felt went real well. I wrapped around, tied it, and you can, this ribbon in particular, you could fray it a little bit, which was nice. So in the top, you can't really see a whole lot. There's a little bit of vellum right here. So there was a vellum piece that came out of this 2018 kit that I did not use. So I took the vellum piece, I cut it in half, and this is half, and this half went above the hello. I used some rhinestones in the top corner. I just put in 3. You're going to want, the ribbon is going to want to go around the white and the stripes before you put it on your green card base. I did not use dimensionals on any of this, but it's at your discretion as to if you like that or not. We're going to go on to, you're going to have a lot of extra